This is the first time I'm sharing this personal story in a public forum, so forgive me if I lose my words a little bit, but I'm sharing it because with hope that it'll help or inspire people to live differently. So my aha moment was when I was in my early 30s, and I was living in the Bay Area. I was living a life that I thought was the life I was supposed to be living, a successful life. I had earned my MBA. I had a great job at a high-tech company. I was married. I had 2 beautiful kids. I was just knocking it out of the park. One day, I was going into the office for a big presentation. I was really excited about it, but I had to stop off and do my little check doctor's visit on the way to the work. I go there, and I was basically sitting there waiting, and I was told that I had lymphoma. I was completely crushed. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. After a series of more tests, I was found that the prognosis was stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma with a 2 months to live. The only possible treatment would have been a bone marrow transplant, of which I did not have a match. I still don't have a match. And I was under a year of very intensive chemotherapy to kind of prolong my life. I also then, my now ex-husband, decided to tell me that he was being unfaithful during the marriage. He decided to tell me it was a good time to tell me that. So I was kind of in an abusive situation throughout that time. I had to work because I was the only one employed to keep insurance. And I just sat there in the hospital one day and I thought to myself, how did it get to this point? I moved back to Michigan to kind of settle my affairs and be with my family for the last chapter. I ended up actually getting a Hail Mary under the table, off-label drug that has given me a second chance, unbelievably.
Thank God. Yeah. I am so super proud of you. I know this is not easy. How do you find the strength to keep going, and what advice would you give?
Yeah, well, I used to have a little quote next to my bed for years, and it said, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. And I absolutely love this quote because I thought I lost everything. I was forced to pause and stop and think. Not everybody's forced to do that, but I would argue that you should. You should pause, and you should look at the things that you want in your life, and you should think about the changes you want to make. And the way that I deal with things, we've talked about dropping perfection. I just drop that need completely. I don't need my house to be super clean all the time, and I don't need, everything to be done. I live by the 20-80 rule. The 20-80 rule is do the 20% of the things that are going to yield 80% of the things you want in life, and drop the rest. Ask yourself, so what? Why am I doing this? What's the so what of why I'm doing something? And if you don't know it, then why are you doing it? The second is breaking free from the shackles. So I come from a family, immigrant family from India. Divorce was really not considered even appropriate, even under my circumstances. And my parents and family were not supportive initially, but breaking away from the shackles, whatever that means to you. But stop people pleasing was a big thing. I mean, I'm sure many of us here are people pleasers. And I teach this to my kids. It's really all about physical and mental health first. And anything after that is gravy. Things are gonna happen to you in life. You can choose and you can be intentional in your desire to heal from any loss, any heartbreak, any issue. People say time heals wounds. I don't believe that at all. I think you have to be intentional in your desire to heal.
Let it release, right?
And that's the 4-leaf clover concept that you came up with. I loved it. There's 4 things. One is you gotta let go of the attachment. I mean, you think you know where your life is going and what things are gonna be like. There's just a lot of things that are different, and you have to be flexible and be okay with that change and just kind of go with it. The other thing is living joyfully in the moment. After you heal from a life-saving or life-threatening illness, the first thing you start to notice is the crystals in the water, the green of the trees, the Christmas lights outside. Boundaries, to me, this is like What energizes you? What gives you energy? For me, it's my friends. I have such a full life with my friends, my kids, my family, my community. I love cooking. I love bringing people together. Have you ever been with somebody who drains you and you leave, you're like, oh my God, I can't deal with that. Trust that instinct of yours. Don't be around that type of energy. Put yourself in situations where you're energized and your energy is protected. And then the last thing for me is free yourself from the past. Any past wounds, we all have wounds in a past, right? And it's all about, there's a Buddhist quote. It says something like, with every step you take in life, put the bag down, and then take another step and put the bag down. Because if you do that, you will be lighter as you move forward. You will be more open-hearted. Things are going to happen to you. Things have happened to me, and sometimes the grief is intense. But you have to will it. You have to will it, and you have to apply these 4 principles. And it's helped me a lot to be grateful, to find everything that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all of you and this opportunity. And just doing that every day, I think, really helps you live a full life.